Welcome to today's video about symptoms of ADHD. What if everything you've been told about your flaws has been a lie? What if the racing thoughts that keep you awake, the chronic lateness you can't control, and the overwhelming feeling that your brain operates on a different frequency isn't a personal failing, but a hidden neurological reality that millions are only now discovering? A bombshell revelation is sweeping across America. ADHD diagnoses in adults have exploded by over 15% from 2020 to 2023 as people finally uncover the truth behind decades of mysterious struggles. We're not talking about hyperactive children anymore. We're exposing a silent epidemic affecting over 7 million diagnosed individuals, with countless others living in the shadows. Here's what they don't tell you. ADHD symptoms are master disguises, camouflaged as personality quirks and character defects for years. Shocking research reveals that 90% of children with ADHD carry these invisible battles into adulthood, yet most remain undiagnosed. Today, we're exposing 15 scientifically proven symptoms and revealing the exact medical tests that can finally give you answers. Prepare to question everything. Your life may never be the same.
Now, let's dive into the most telling symptoms, beginning with the first one: inattention to details. Imagine proofreading an important email, hitting send, only to discover you've misspelled your boss's name in the subject line. This isn't carelessness. It's your brain's executive function struggling with what researchers call attention to detail processing. A 2024 study published in Psychiatric Research and Clinical Practice found that adults with ADHD face particular challenges managing attention as life demands increase. This symptom manifests when your brain processes information at lightning speed but misses crucial details that others naturally catch. You might read a recipe but skip a vital ingredient, complete math problems correctly but miss decimal points, or submit reports with perfect content but formatting errors. Recent neuroimaging studies reveal that this occurs due to differences in how ADHD brains allocate attentional resources, making detail-oriented tasks require significantly more mental energy despite your intelligence exceeding that of your peers. Next, symptom 2, poor focus. Your colleague is explaining a complex project, but halfway through, your mind has wandered to that documentary you watched last night, then to wondering if you locked your car, then back to the conversation, except now you've missed the crucial deadline information. New research from JAMA Psychiatry in 2024 shows that ADHD prescription increases of 30% for stimulants among adults aged 20 to 39 during the pandemic highlighted how many struggle with focus in demanding environments. This isn't about lacking intelligence or motivation. Your brain processes multiple streams of information simultaneously, making sustained attention feel like trying to watch TV while someone constantly changes channels. Brain imaging studies demonstrate that ADHD affects the prefrontal cortex's ability to filter relevant from irrelevant information, causing your mind to treat background noise, random thoughts, and important conversations with equal priority.
Next, symptom 3, easily distracted. You're deep in concentration, making real progress on an important task, when suddenly the sound of a distant conversation pulls your attention away completely. It's not that you choose to be distracted, it's as if your brain has an overly sensitive alarm system that treats every sound, movement, or thought as potentially urgent. A groundbreaking 2024 study in neuropsychopharmacology revealed that people with ADHD have heightened cortisol responses to boredom, making their brains actively seek stimulation. This symptom transforms everyday environments into obstacle courses for your attention. the refrigerator humming, a notification ping, someone walking past your workspace, or even your own thoughts can derail hours of focused work in seconds. Recent research shows this occurs because ADHD brains have difficulty with inhibitory control, the ability to ignore irrelevant stimuli. Next, symptom 4, difficulty following instructions. Your supervisor gives you a 5-step process for a new project. You start enthusiastically, nail the first 2 steps perfectly, but somehow step 3 gets jumbled with step 5 and you realize you've created something entirely different than requested. This isn't defiance or incompetence, it's your brain struggling with working memory processing. A 2024 study examining genetic markers found that specific dopamine transporter gene variations significantly impact instruction processing abilities in individuals with ADHD. The challenge lies in your brain's ability to hold multiple pieces of information while simultaneously executing them. Recent cognitive research demonstrates that ADHD affects the brain's central executive function, which coordinates multiple mental processes. This explains why you might start tasks with complete clarity, but find yourself confused or off track partway through.
Next, symptom 5, forgetfulness. You set 3 alarms for an important appointment, put sticky notes on your bathroom mirror, and tell yourself repeatedly not to forget, yet somehow you still find yourself remembering at the exact moment you should have been walking through the door. A landmark 2024 study published in Biological Psychiatry revealed that up to 70% of adults with ADHD experience significant sleep problems, which directly compound memory and attention difficulties. This isn't ordinary absent-mindedness. It's your brain's executive function struggling with perspective memory, the ability to remember to perform intended actions at specific times. You might have excellent memory for random facts or conversations from years ago, but struggle to remember returning phone calls or paying bills. Neuroscience research shows that ADHD affects the brain's planning and monitoring systems. Next, symptom 6, poor time management. You genuinely believe you can accomplish 3 hours of work in 1 hour, consistently underestimate how long tasks will take, and find yourself chronically running late despite your best efforts to be punctual. Time feels elastic and unpredictable, operating by different rules than everyone else seems to understand. A comprehensive 2024 study in ADHD, attention deficit, and hyperactivity disorders found that time perception difficulties are directly linked to dopamine and melatonin metabolism disruptions common in ADHD. This symptom stems from time blindness, your brain's inability to accurately perceive time passage or estimate duration. Recent research reveals that many ADHD individuals experience only 2 time states, now and not now, lacking the internal chronometer that helps others plan and pace activities.
Next, symptom 7, impulsivity. You interrupt your friend mid-sentence with what feels like the perfect response, only to realize you've completely misunderstood what they were saying. Or you blurt out answers before questions are finished, make purchases you immediately regret, or send texts you wish you could unsend. The latest research from the Lancet Psychiatry in 2024 shows that impulsivity in ADHD is linked to differences in brain regions responsible for behavioral inhibition. Impulsivity isn't rudeness or lack of self-control, it's your brain's brake system functioning differently. While others have a built-in pause between thought and action, your brain often skips this step. Recent neuroscience research reveals that this occurs because ADHD affects the prefrontal cortex's ability to inhibit immediate responses. You might have brilliant insights and creative solutions, but they emerge at inappropriate moments or before you've considered their impact. Next, symptom 8, hyperactivity.
While others sit calmly in meetings, your leg bounces under the table, your pen clicks rhythmically, and your mind feels like it's running a marathon even when your body appears still. Adult hyperactivity rarely looks like childhood bouncing off walls. Instead, it's an internal restlessness that creates constant motion. New research published in Frontiers in Psychiatry in 2024 shows that fidgeting and restlessness in ADHD serve as regulatory mechanisms, helping individuals maintain optimal arousal levels for attention and focus. This symptom manifests as an irrepressible need for movement or stimulation, even in quiet environments where stillness is expected. Brain imaging studies reveal that this restlessness occurs because ADHD brains require more stimulation to maintain alertness. The movement isn't disruptive behavior, it's your nervous system's attempt to self-regulate and maintain focus.
Next, symptom 9. Difficulty staying seated. In classrooms, boardrooms, or movie theaters, you feel an almost magnetic pull to get up and move around. Staying seated feels physically uncomfortable, like wearing clothes that don't fit properly. This isn't restlessness born from boredom. It's a neurological need for movement that conflicts with social expectations. A significant 2024 study published in Pediatrics found that children with ADHD who were allowed movement breaks showed improved academic performance and reduced behavioral issues. Your brain requires movement to maintain optimal functioning, similar to how some people need background music to concentrate. Recent neuroscience research demonstrates that movement activates key brain regions responsible for attention and executive function in individuals with ADHD. When forced to remain seated, you might experience physical discomfort, increased distractibility, and declining cognitive performance. This creates a challenging paradox in environments that demand stillness when your brain actually needs movement to function optimally. Next, symptom 10. Talkativeness. Conversations feel like exciting ping-pong matches where your mind rapidly connects ideas, leading to elaborate stories, tangential explanations, and sharing more details than others seem to need or want. Your enthusiasm for communication often overwhelms social boundaries, even when you recognize others' subtle cues to wrap up. Research from the 2024 National Health Interview Survey indicates that girls with ADHD are increasingly being recognized for exhibiting talkativeness as a primary symptom, helping close the gender diagnosis gap. This symptom reflects your brain's rapid processing speed and interconnected thinking patterns. Ideas trigger memories, which spark new thoughts, creating an internal cascade that demands external expression. Studies show that excessive talking in ADHD stems from difficulties with social timing and impulse control. Your verbal processing helps organize your thoughts, but the volume and pace can overwhelm others, creating social challenges despite your genuine desire to connect meaningfully.
Next, symptom 11. Mood swings. Your emotions shift like weather patterns, from enthusiastic and optimistic to frustrated and overwhelmed within minutes, often triggered by seemingly minor events that others brush off easily. These rapid emotional changes feel intense and genuine in the moment, leaving you and others confused about what sparked such dramatic shifts. A landmark 2024 study in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that emotional dysregulation affects over 50% of individuals with ADHD and significantly impacts their quality of life and relationships. This emotional volatility isn't immaturity or manipulation. It's your brain's difficulty regulating emotional responses. ADHD affects the same neural networks responsible for attention and executive function that also manage emotional control. Recent research reveals that emotional problems affect 1 in 2 children with ADHD, often manifesting as anxiety, depression, and explosive outbursts. This emotional intensity often feels exhausting and unpredictable, making relationships challenging. Next, symptom 12. Low frustration tolerance. Waiting in long lines, dealing with slow internet, or encountering minor obstacles can trigger immediate irritation that feels disproportionate to the situation. What others perceive as minor inconveniences can completely derail your day, creating intense emotional reactions that surprise even you with their intensity. Groundbreaking 2024 research published in Physiology and Behavior demonstrated that people with ADHD have elevated cortisol stress responses to boredom and frustration, making these experiences physically uncomfortable. This symptom stems from your brain's difficulty modulating emotional responses and managing stress hormones. ADHD affects your ability to maintain perspective during challenging moments, causing temporary setbacks to feel like insurmountable crises. Recent studies show that individuals with ADHD have heightened stress reactivity, meaning their bodies physically respond more intensely to frustrating situations. This isn't about lacking resilience. It's your nervous system operating with a more sensitive alarm system.
Next, symptom 13. Poor organizational skills. Your workspace looks like a tornado hit it. Important documents vanish into mysterious piles, and you have elaborate systems that make perfect sense to you but appear chaotic to everyone else. Despite your best intentions and multiple organizational attempts, maintaining order feels like swimming upstream against your brain's natural tendencies. A comprehensive 2024 study published in the Journal of Attention Disorders found that organizational difficulties are among the most persistent ADHD symptoms, continuing to impact adults even when other symptoms improve. This challenge reflects your brain's unique approach to categorizing and prioritizing information. While others use linear, hierarchical systems, your mind creates associative networks where items belong in multiple categories simultaneously. Recent research shows that ADHD affects executive function areas responsible for planning and organizing. Next, symptom 14, sleep difficulties. Bedtime becomes a frustrating battle where your body feels tired, but your mind races with thoughts, ideas, and worries that refuse to quiet down. You might lie awake for hours, fall asleep easily but wake frequently, or feel unrested despite spending adequate time in bed. Revolutionary 2024 research reveals that up to 75% of individuals with ADHD experience sleep problems, with new theories suggesting that ADHD might actually be fundamentally connected to circadian rhythm disruptions. Sleep difficulties in ADHD aren't just about bedtime habits. They reflect complex neurobiological differences in how your brain regulates arousal and alertness cycles. Recent studies show that ADHD affects melatonin production and circadian rhythm timing, causing delayed sleep-wake cycles that conflict with societal schedules.
Next, symptom 15, risky behaviors. You might drive slightly faster than safe, make impulsive financial decisions, engage in spontaneous adventures that others consider dangerous, or take social and professional risks that seem reasonable in the moment but questionable in retrospect. Alarming 2024 research published in The Lancet Psychiatry shows that untreated ADHD in adults significantly increases engagement in risky driving, financial impulsivity, and unsafe relationship decisions. This symptom emerges from the complex interaction between impulsivity, sensation-seeking, and difficulty accurately assessing consequences. Your brain craves stimulation and novel experiences, while simultaneously struggling to fully process potential negative outcomes before acting. Fascinating new research suggests that ADHD traits like risk-taking may have been evolutionarily adaptive for foraging behaviors. You're not reckless by nature, you're responding to genuine neurological needs for stimulation and excitement that require conscious awareness and sometimes external support to navigate safely. Next, what medical tests to take to identify ADHD? If these symptoms resonated with you, the next crucial step is getting a proper medical evaluation. Here's the reality. There's no single blood test or brain scan that definitively diagnoses ADHD. Instead, healthcare professionals use comprehensive clinical assessments that have been refined through decades of research. The 2024 American Professional Society of ADHD and Related Disorders is developing the first-ever standardized guidelines for adult ADHD diagnosis, which will be published in 2025. A proper ADHD evaluation typically includes detailed clinical interviews covering your childhood and current symptoms, standardized questionnaires like the Adult ADHD Self-Report Scale, cognitive testing to assess attention and executive function, and ruling out other conditions that mimic ADHD symptoms. Many specialists also use continuous performance tests and may recommend sleep studies, since new research shows that 75% of ADHD individuals have sleep disorders that can worsen symptoms. Start with your primary care physician, or seek out a psychiatrist, psychologist, or neurologist who specializes in ADHD. The evaluation process usually takes 2 to 4 hours across multiple appointments.
If you found yourself nodding along to several of these symptoms, you're not alone in this journey of discovery. Recent CDC data shows that 1 in 9 American children have been diagnosed with ADHD, and millions of adults are finally understanding their lifelong struggles through this lens. Remember, recognizing these patterns isn't about labeling yourself. It's about understanding how your unique brain works. The most important takeaway is that ADHD isn't a deficit to be ashamed of. It's a neurological variation that comes with both challenges and remarkable strengths. Many individuals with ADHD are incredibly creative, innovative, and capable of extraordinary focus that produces amazing results. As we discussed, if these symptoms resonate with you, the comprehensive medical evaluation we outlined could be life-changing. Don't let another year pass wondering, what if? Getting proper testing opens doors to treatments, accommodations, and strategies that can dramatically transform your quality of life. If this video was helpful, kindly type yes in the comment. That motivates us to produce more content like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might benefit. Thank you for joining us on this journey of awareness and self-discovery. Our next video explores the fascinating connection between ADHD and creativity. You won't want to miss it.